Hello. We are live. Look at that. If you are here, make sure to say hi. I'm going to let everybody trickle in, but we are officially live. Hello, YouTube. Hello, Twitter, wherever you're seeing this on. Thank you for joining me. It is a U.S. Open Cup round of 16 matchup for your Houston Dynamo today. My name is Juan Pereira. I will be your host today. Now, I have good news and bad news. The good news is that we'll have several guests on today. It'll be a fun time. A lot of people talking ball. The bad news is that Chris, unfortunately, won't be able to join us. He was leading the watch along last time, but he has work today. Hopefully, he'll join us next time. But as of right now, it'll be me, and then a few people will be joining in and joining out as the game goes on. Excuse me. Yeah, if you're here, say hi in the chat. Want to see who's here. Get a head count as people start trickling in. Well, hello, Jeff. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Once we get some people in, I'm gonna start to get some score predictions. People will start joining in a little later. Hello, Lisa. Love to see you. Okay, let's check who is on Twitter. Yeah, Jeff. I'm gonna show this one. I'm gonna keep this one on because good. I have no idea how this is gonna go either. You would think Houston would get a pretty easy win here, but as we know with the Dynamo, it's never that clear. Goodness. So yeah, I mean, if we're looking at how this team's doing right now, let's look at the starting lineup real quick. Andrade, Resch, and Negri are on the bench, are starting in defense. The midfield is a double pivot of Bozat and Herrera. Aliu as your right wing back, Vines as your left wing back, Guillermo and Linger as your kind of cams slash wingers, and then Markanic gets the start up top. No Ponce, I believe he is on the bench as well as Bogush, Holmes, Samaseku, and Nali, Antonio Carlos, and Bond. Jimmy Maurer gets the start here today. That's interesting. I would have expected to see someone like Blake Gillingham getting the start today, but that's what manager Ben Olsen decided to put out there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Game will start in about 10 minutes. So I'm just going to let people keep rolling in. I see we have 20 total viewers here, everybody. If you're here and you want to chat, say hi. If you have any questions about this team, holler at me. And people will start trickling in here in just a little bit. I think if people can't see what Jeff said there, I think Arana is out with the national team or something like that. I believe he was in national team duty. Why he hasn't come back? I was hoping that he would be back by now and get into the starting lineup and maybe get some minutes. I do feel like he could have started over Buzat, maybe in a cam role instead of Linger. But I mean, looking at the lineup that Houston have released, I think it's a pretty solid one. I think you can expect a win here. If you don't, then there's going to be a lot of questions asked. Yeah, I wish Arana could have gotten in this team. I feel like this would have been the perfect game for him. Also for maybe Gilberto Rivera is another guy that's been really impressing at the Dynamo 2 level. I feel like he's just itching to get a shot at the first team. But if you're a Dynamo fan, I said this in the last podcast. This team that Ben Olsen has lined up here today is a rotated team, but it should be more than good enough to beat El Paso Locomotive, who are on a bit of a hot streak. And as we've seen these past few days with all these MLS teams getting upset or being close to upset, it's by far not a guarantee if Houston can pull out here and get a win. So yeah, the live event will be starting soon. If you want to watch along with me, it's on Paramount Plus. Houston Dynamo FC versus El Paso Locomotive. The game will probably start around 7 to 7:10. So well, everybody sit around here. We'll get some guests here in a second. People will be able to talk ball, some good conversations. It'll be fun. It'll be a fun time. Make sure to get your water, get your snacks, because it'll be a long night. I like that Jeff has become kind of the temporary co-host while people begin to trickle in. Former Dynamo Robert Conorado starting and those player Beta Avila on the bench for El Paso. See, that's interesting because I also I knew before this season, I believe Wilmer Cabrera, the former Houston Dynamo coach, was the head coach of El Paso Locomotive. A lot of connections there between these two teams. Beto, he impressed when he was with Houston a bit. I'd say at those he was really good. I guess you could have seen the future with him, but fortunately with the first team, he never really got a fair chance. So, it'll be interesting to see if he gets on the field for El Paso Locomotive and maybe has a chip on his shoulder against Houston and Ben Olsen and all that stuff. I do like how Hector Herrera is starting. If I'm going to start talking about that, I love that Hector Herrera is getting a run here. I felt like Houston could have definitely used him in the first half in a few of these past few games. He is an outstanding player, great quality. Obviously, he can't really run a full 90 anymore, which kind of sucks for Houston. But again, if I'm Houston, I want him starting and I want him playing these games early on to set the tone for the rest of the game. I feel like with these past few lineups that we've seen, Houston have kind of been playing more like trying to be more conservative and let the game come to them when in reality it should be um, Houston taking control of the game with this lineup that they have, this three back with two wing backs. You can definitely create a lot of offense, and I feel like they haven't really done that so far. So Hector Herrera is a guy that I'm sure will try to take control of this game. It's something that Houston desperately needs against a hot locomotive side. So if you're just joining us, thank you very much for joining. We're gonna get a few guests in here in a bit. The game will start between 7 and 7:10. So as people trickle in, we're gonna have some good talks about the game. I'll be commentating it as well. For those of you that can't watch the game, I'll make sure to commentate on what's going on and give you a fresh look, how they're looking as a team, and it'll be fun. So thank you all for joining me so far. We'll get a few more people in here pretty soon. Yeah, completely agree, Jeff. I do think, and they mentioned it in the previous broadcast for U.S. Open Cup. I remember yesterday these USL teams desperately want these wins. Like this is what they need. They need these wins to stay relevant in this market. And Austin got upset yesterday. Um, for all you Houston fans, I'm sure that's a great thing. And I think we have our first little guest of the day, El Jefe himself, Dustin Richardson. How are you doing, sir?
What's up?
You doing great?
Yeah, I got it on my phone. My laptop was acting funky, but here we are.
Hey, you're good. So
Watch.
game will start at around 7 to 7:10, right?
Yeah, I think it's at 7:05. I think somewhere around there. Yeah.
Awesome. So before you got here, we were talking about Beta Avila and Robert Conorado, former Houston people. Do you think any of them can make an impact today?
Man, yeah. I was looking at their roster and saw Beto in there. He was like the first Dynamo 2 player ever signed to the first team. Like what was that, 4 or 5 years ago now, probably.
Yeah.
And he, yeah, he had so much promise. I remember he came out on fire in that first MLS Next Pro season, and everyone was super excited about him. And then he just kind of he got to the senior team. I think he played maybe an Open Cup game or maybe an MLS game or two, and he kind of did what we see a lot of these Dynamo homegrowns do, unfortunately, and they just kind of fall off. And it's cool that he's still still got a career going and he's still doing well. So good for him. But yeah, I don't. I mean, they have so many good attackers. It seems like we'll see if he gets to come off the bench and do something.
Yeah. Jeff here had a question for you. Your thoughts on the lineup. I remember you were telling it to us, and I feel like you got most of your picks right for this one.
Yeah, I was pretty. I think I had Blake in goal at the end on the preview. I put Blake in goal. I don't. And we were talking about this in our chat. I just don't know why you're playing Jimmy at this point. He's like 37 years old. I mean, he's a veteran, so he's one of those guys that you can kind of rely on and stuff. But I feel like Blake is like, if what's the point of Blake if he's not gonna get games like this? Because he's not gonna play in Dynamo 2 with Pedro there.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think the rest of the lineup, I was expecting Bogish instead of Guilherme, so that's interesting, especially because Guilherme is 31, just had his birthday the other day. Giving him 3 games in a week is an interesting decision. And Hector starting, I think, is good. This you need a with all the troubles they've been having lately. You need a guy that can steady the ship. I think Hector's probably one of the best around at that, being a steadying presence, and we'll see what him and Buzat will be interesting in the middle. See who plays more defensive and who gets more into the attack, because Hector kind of can do it all when he's on.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking about that because is this the first time we've seen them both on the pitch together at the same time to start a game at least?
I know it. Hector started that game a couple of weeks ago. That was when Buzat was suspended, I think.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
what I was thinking because I feel like they kind of have
mhm.
similar profiles in a lot of ways. Like I feel like you would much more expect to see Buzat come off the bench for Hector Herrera and vice versa. So how do you see
Yeah,
that?
yeah. Hector started with Jack in that McGlynn in that game against Dallas, and yeah, that was the game Buzat was suspended. But yeah, they're very similar. Like, I think Buzat was, when they signed him, he was that Hector replacement that you didn't have last year, and then Hector himself came back. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that midfield looks with, especially with the defenders that they're starting. We were talking about they're basically starting like 4 fullbacks. If Negri is going to play center back,
Yeah.
he can play wide. Andrade is going to probably play center back. He can play wide. So really, your only center back, like natural center back, is Resch, who is 4 or 5 games into his pro career. So
Yeah.
we've seen defensive issues with this team. So we'll see now with this El Paso team that seems like they score a ton of goals. We'll see how the Dynamo defense holds up against them.
Yeah, but honestly, I kind of like what Ben Olsen's kind of going on here. I think he wants offense in a way, and it's not like in terms of like powerhouses up front, but I rather think it's more like just having a lot of offensive-minded players on the field at the same time. I have a feeling we're gonna see a lot of goals, either one way with Houston or it'll be a very tight matchup. I think you'll get one or the other. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see. I talked about this in the preview. Like, the Dynamo have gone behind in every game, right? Like, they go down 1-0 and then 2-0. It seems like
Yeah,
fast. So, yeah, if they can get out to a good start, or I mean, at least hold El Paso scoreless for a while they kind of find their feet with this different group of players. I think it'll be a close game. I think they should, with this lineup, and they should beat El Paso. I still say that um, this is a game that they need to be and should be winning. But yeah, you never know in the Open Cup too. That's kind of the cool thing about the Open Cup, right? You get
yeah.
one shot at the big boys, and El Paso is going to take their best shot.
Yeah, and I love how Jeff is just kind of carrying the chat right now. And I do agree with him about Markinich. He's been a dose guy that I think is really impressed in those minutes. And now he finally gets a chance to really make an impact with the first team. I know he got sent off a few match weeks ago, but I think this is his first fair true chance with the first team, would you say?
I think a lot of people are excited about Markinick. Like, he's, after what we saw in preseason, he was scoring like 2 goals every game. It seemed like people were already wanting him over Ponce, and then Ponce has not scored in the first 6 games, and so now
Yeah.
it's like, okay, we need something different than Ponce, and I think a lot of people, or I think Ben had mentioned it. Maybe Bogusz goes up front or something. But I think Markinich is probably your first option of, okay, Ponce's not cutting it. We need something. Guillermo can't score every goal.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think it's interesting too because Markinick, he was like Mr. USL. He won the Golden Boot there. He has the league goal scoring records, and now he gets to go against a USL team, and maybe it'll bring back some memories for him.
No, yeah, you're right. If you're just joining us, I say we have over 50 people here on stream. Thank you for joining us. Make sure to get some water, some snacks. It's going to be a long night. Houston Dynamo are, I think, getting set to kick off. I believe they'll start at 7:10. Dustin, lost them there for a second. But yeah, no, I think they're about to start kicking off right now. Hello there. I see
So,
Guillermo and Linger are on the ball. So I think we're about to get started here.
yep.
Houston Dynamo. And we're off. Pitch looks horrible. If you're not seeing the game, the pitch looks absolutely horrendous.
They've been playing the gamblers have been playing there, so you can see the American football lines now back on Shell Energy Stadium, which I know the fans really hate. But yeah, I mean, I think, was it last weekend or 2 weekends ago? It was Dash on Friday, Dynamo on Saturday, Gamblers on Sunday. So yeah, the pitch is getting a beating lately. I mean, it still looks green and still looks not too patchy. So hopefully they have an amazing grounds crew at Shell. So
Yeah.
if
Big
anybody
prop
can
to
keep
them.
it looking nice.
Yep. Houston's already on the ball a bit. What part of the first minute are you on, Dustin? Just so I can get a grasp of how far behind or in front you
I
are.
am at 50 seconds, 51, 52.
Oh goodness, I am. I think 6 seconds ahead.
Well, I'll get reactions from you before it happens.
Yeah, yeah. I'll try to commentate for the people that can't really see the game very well. Houston are in El Paso. Started the pitch. Golazo!
Oh,
An overhead banger. Linger. The first goal of the season for him. It's already 1-0 Houston
now,
Dynamo.
now
Golazo.
if you're looking for goals in the Sioux,
Oh my goodness, Linger in the first or second minute of this game, an overhead kick in the final third. I believe that is Markanich with the assist. Golazo, Houston.
that's
Wow.
one way to find a goal.
My
Ooh,
goodness. Did
yeah.
Linger need that one?
Keeper kind of keeper kind of pushed it into the side of the net. He probably just wasn't expecting an overhead like that. Yeah, what a finish.
Oof. If you're just joining us, Houston Dynamo up in front, 2-0 already. What a
Wonderful.
goal from Linger. Assist from Markinich. We were just talking about him a few minutes ago. Showed some, we call it pausa in the Spanish side of the game. Beautiful from Houston right there.
Yeah.
I think Houston are lined up in there. It looks a little weird today, I'll be honest. That back line looks more like a 4 right now. Just from first observations. Guillermo out wide.
Yeah,
Marca, or are you
Negri.
gonna say?
Yeah, it looks like Negri's kind of. When they have the ball, it looks like he's playing a lot higher up.
Yeah, I'll be honest. This doesn't look like a back 5 for Houston. This looks more like a back 4.
Yeah, Vines is. It looks like. Yeah,
That's really weird, huh?
interesting to
I
see.
think Aliu's playing a more natural winger role.
Yeah, it looks like he's. I know he's kind of dropping.
I like that they're giving different looks. I'll be completely honest. That is something that if you at least in this stage of football, where kind of football's going, giving teams different looks in and out of possession, and as many variations as you can really mess up a team's shape. El Paso with the ball. El Paso had a dangerous chance right there. 3 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. Yeah. Football lines back for what is his retro Dynamo day? We'll see. It was a great start right there. That is. Do you think that's a sports center where we play right there, Dustin?
Thinking you're probably not going to see a better Dynamo goal this season. I might
Oof.
goal of the season.
Oh my goodness. I was not expecting that. What a way to wake you up.
I it's like Linger is one of those guys that he came here last year, and I think a lot of people were expecting him to be they never replaced Coco and they never replaced Hector really, and it was like, okay, Linger is the 10 that they've been looking for, right? And
Yeah.
he had that really great debut, and then I think his second game even he scored in, and then he just kind of uh, didn't do much. He got benched for a long part of the season, and even this season he's been on the bench because he's kind of in that role. That 10 role Guillerme and Bogus are playing, but I mean Linger, he's so talented. Like he's
Yeah.
plays for the Czech national team. Like he's been in camps with them. They're going to the World Cup. We'll see if he gets a call up. It's probably an outside shot, but he's in the picture at least. I mean, yeah, and we saw him play as a 9 last year. Some, I think, when Ponce was out. So it'll be interesting to see too if Linger starts. I mean, it's one goal. It's 5 minutes into the game, but is Linger one of those guys that you start saying this guy needs to be in the lineup?
Yeah. I mean, granted, it is the first 5 minutes of the US Open Cup game, but I mean, with a goal like that, my goodness. I'm still I'm still in shock really by that whole sequence. It came out so quick.
Yeah, that was a good run by Mark Anik too. Like to get wide, as a center forward, he got into the wide side of the box and with nice little dink into the box, and Linger did the rest.
Yeah, so I think Negri is playing, I think, a natural center back position. That's really interesting. Aliu's playing I think he's playing wide. Andrade's it's really weird. I'll be really honest with you. It's giving off some weird energy, this
Almost
Houston lineup, but I like it.
it almost looks like a 4-4-2. Like Guillerme's playing pretty far back too, like than he normally does. He's like right in front of Negri.
Yeah. Guillermo with a nice dribble there,
Oh
gives
yeah,
it to El Paso. But that I think that is something that Houston needs to take advantage of. I do feel like and we talked about this in the podcast. I do feel like the players that they brought in this offseason are good players. And I feel like it's a more talent infused team than it was compared to last year. So then the big question is, was last year's error the players or the system? Because when you look at Guillermo, he looks like a great winger that maybe could have thrived and created some chaos in last season's bit of positional play type build. What do you think, Dustin?
yeah. And there, we've talked about like this, like Guillerme. I think there was a lot of questions when he got here. Like a lot of MLS people were thinking, "Oh, is this guy good enough to be a DP? Is this guy?" And then there was a lot of questions even of where does he play, right? Because Anali was the left wing, and you're like, "Well, Anali's gonna play left wing. Can he play on the right? Can Anali play on the right? Or where does he play?" And I mean, he's basically just he just goes wherever really. He's kind of a 10, he's kind of a wing, he kind of is a 9. He's just I mean, he is their offense so far. Bogus has been kind of slow to get acclimated. It hit just one goal, but I mean, Guillermo is like give the ball to Guillermo is kind of their offense.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're just joining us, we are in the 7th minute, almost 8th minute of this game today. Houston Dynamo beating El Paso Locomotive 1-0 after a goal of the season contender from Odrich Linger. Nick Markinich with the assist in his first Houston Dynamo start. And Aliu as well, someone that I'm sure we're going to talk about a little later, gets his first start. El Paso with the ball here. Jimmy Maurer recovers. So yeah, I mean, Houston looked really flexible right now. I think that is, for me, a great sign.
I think
Obviously, yeah. What are you gonna say?
Yeah, no, I think that's a big thing with this team, right? Like looking at the roster, there's a lot of flexibility, right? Like, I mean, even guys like Hector can play. Is he a 6? Is he an 8? Is he, all these defenders that are center backs or wing backs or full backs. All these attackers like Linger that can play 10, they can play 9, they can play wide if you need to. I think and like you said, they're very fluid right now, and because I think they have all these guys that they have all these guys that can kind of evolve and do different things. Except Resh just clearing people out like that. Uh,
Yeah,
but yeah, they're very this lineup especially I think is very very versatile.
yeah. But again, like we mentioned a little bit before this game started, it's almost like we predicted it. I feel like this game's going to be pretty open for both sides. Whenever you have that flexibility, players moving like that, it's just a natural byproduct that the other team will have space somewhere. And we've already seen a little bit El Paso in these first 10 minutes. There's been opportunities. I wouldn't really call them chances, but there's been moments where you could say, yeah, there's some space there that if El Paso were a little bit more clinical, they could take advantage of. Linger in the offensive third right now, the ball. Ali is there out in the overlap for possibilities, circulating ball again, and it's back to the back line. I think El Paso are lined up in a 5-4-1 formation.
Yeah, I think that, and I will say I haven't seen a lot of them play, but looking at their at foot mob and different things, it looks like that's kind of what they like to line up in 5-4-1,
Yep.
especially you know against an MLS team. I mean, sure they don't feel like they're less talented, but against a team that's more talented than them, they kind of bunker in with uh, those that 5-4-1 helps them a little
Yeah.
more defensively.
Yeah. Also, whenever they push up, I assume it'll look more like a 5-2-3. Those two wingers kind of popping up a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean, El Paso, we've talked about them. They've been hot. And considering how these MLS teams have performed recently, a win here, I wouldn't call it a freebie. I would call it maybe a turnaround and a chance to really get the better of Austin FC, I guess, at this time.
yeah, yeah. Because if the Dynamo win this game, they get Louisville, who beat Austin last night. Would have been Houston and Austin in the next round, but Austin couldn't take care of business. Then they had to go on the road to Louisville, and yeah, they went down 2-0 pretty early, I think, in the first half, and
Yeah.
back. And they had they had their DPS in. They had Azuni, they had Facundo Torres playing,
Yep.
and yeah, and they just got beat. Uh, it's crazy. They went to the final last year. Was it last year they lost to Nashville in the final?
Yeah, I believe they made the final last year.
Yeah, I think they hosted it and they lost it. They lost to Nashville, and now this year they're out in their first round.
Yeah. Yeah, Ali, I would say Ali's positioning looks really weird out of possession. It's kind of like in this middle area. I don't know who he's tracking right now.
It's
I think he's
like
getting ready to pounce.
almost like a 4-3-3 out of possession. Like Ali was kind of in the center mid. Like
Huh. You know what? I am very surprised. I do like that though. If you're gonna play against these USL teams, I think being unpredictable is a strength there.
yeah, I mean, because you're, and also I think like you don't, and I know Ben talks about this. Like they in the press conference, they reached out to other teams and stuff, and like to find out about El Paso. Probably Brendan Burke, who's the Hartford coach who used to be on the Dynamo staff, who El Paso played last week. But you don't know a lot about these guys, right? Like El Paso, like Rubio Rubin and some of these guys that have been in MLS, but they're kind of a question mark. And so if you can also be a little bit of a question mark for them, I think it gives you a little bit of an advantage because they probably know a lot more about you than you know about them, even with USL being a lot more visible, a lot easier to watch nowadays.
Yeah. Pass with the ball here. We've reached the 13-minute mark. They're pinging the ball to the left. They're recircling back into the back line. Houston settled into their defensive shape. So 13 minutes in, I think both teams kind of cooled off a bit in terms of that opening 10 minutes. I would definitely say Houston had the advantage in those first 10 minutes, though. El Paso here with the ball, though, gets a shot off, but it's off the defensive back line. El Paso player on the ground, I believe he got hit in the head. He's acting like he got hit in the head. No call by the referee so far. He's going to pause the game now as he's going to check up on the El Paso player. It looks like he got hit in the head there. 13 minutes and 42 seconds in. Stopping the play. I think it was Resh that made contact with the player. Dustin, it sounds like you have like feedback. Like, okay, there you go. Yeah, I think you laid it down on somewhere and it started like warpling and stuff.
Yeah, I had it sitting down.
No, you're good. But yeah, no
Kyle,
call.
yeah, Kyle Adams is Kyle Adams. Did he ever play for the Dynamo or a little bit? He played
I
for
actually don't
RGV.
remember.
I think
Maybe.
he is actually. If I'm gonna look it up before I say something stupid. I think he is.
Why are you doing that? I love that comment from Lenzer. Rash said his screen. Yeah, he definitely did.
Yeah, he did. He screened him nicely, and he never saw it coming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Kyle
mean,
Adams
yeah,
is engaged to Savannah DeMello, who plays for Racing Louisville, U.S. Women's.
got it. Makes sense.
The useless crap I know.
Houston
Yeah,
Dynamo
he's
in their final third.
for
You gonna
RGV.
say Hector Herrera with the ball circulating. Guillerme, a little too far for him. Goal kick for El Paso. Were you gonna say something, Dustin? I feel like I cut you off there.
No, you're good. I'm just reading Kyle Adams' bio now that Jeff has brought him to my attention. One cap for New Zealand.
Oh wow, that's pretty funny. Do you know when he got that cap?
Let's see. International. No, doesn't say. 2023, it looks like. Yeah, he signed with the Dynamo in 2020. Got loaned back to RGV when that was the COVID season. And so then they declined his option after that season, so he didn't really get much of a chance here.
Makes sense. If you're just joining us, 16 minutes in, Houston Dynamo winning 1-0 after an absolute banger from Linger. The Houston are pressing up high. El Paso's weathering the storm now. I think they've regathered from that opening little sequence, but Houston are really giving some intensity here, especially the guys that are really trying to make an impression here. I see Markanich so far. I think has been one of the best players in this match. Him and Linger have rotated really well out of possession. They're giving the El Paso team different looks, which is left to see.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, it looks like. I mean, again, this is it's a USL team and it's only 17 minutes in, but um, they look a lot more composed than they have in recent weeks. They've had a lot of the ball, which I think has helped, right? Because oh, good.
Yeah, Houston are really pushing up high here.
I'm interested.
Vines looks good. He's made, I think that was his first cross here today.
Yeah, I was just about to say I'm interested to see more of Vines. Like he was really he was a kind of a big prospect type player with when he was with Colorado. Got some call ups for the national team. He has 9 caps, and then he's one of those kids that that the grass isn't always greener in Europe. He went to Europe and just didn't pan out for him. Came back to Colorado and never really didn't really get back to um, kind of what he was when he was a youngster there. So now fresh start here in Houston, but yeah, I mean super talented. He's still only 26, and I think this system's really good for him. It'll be interesting to see as he gets more time here in training and stuff if he can push an ollie for that left wing back role.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Anali because obviously he's on the starting lineup or home. So we're really getting a different look at those wingback signings that Houston have gotten. I'm really interested to see how Aliu's game looks compared differently to how he was last time with Houston. El Paso with a pass to the left side, off the bar for El Paso, off the crossbar.
That was
A
a
good
bad.
chance there for El Paso.
I was just talking. I was just talking about Vines and that all started with the giveaway from him.
Yeah. Their defensively looked a little weird from Houston. Nobody really wanted to take initiative for that. They catch a break there, almost to the 19th minute. El Paso with their first big chance of the game. It is missed. And it seems like El Paso right now is kind of controlling more of the rhythm, and Houston are willing to stand a
Yeah,
little further back and take the pressure, which is fine. It'll happen in games usually from time to time. Soccer is a game of taking the opportunities that will be given to you. No team can really ever control a full 90 like that. So it'll be interesting to see if Houston can weather this storm and how this out of possession shape looks right now.
yeah. I think El Paso may have found something there. The center of this Dynamo defense is probably where you want to. There they go again.
Yeah.
Where you want to attack because Resch is, like we said earlier, he's really the only center back, and he's a rookie, making his. I guess this is his first start. Did
Yeah, I
he?
think this is first start. It's really interesting because Houston were down a few players because of those suspensions and injury and whatnot. I think Houston really just wanted him there as just an option there off the bench, which makes sense. But I think this will be a great opportunity for him. I mean, he's surrounded by I say Andrade, who's a pretty established player here already. Vines, Negri are both really experienced players, I'd say, even though Vines isn't that particularly old. So I think there's a great little experience from them getting to play next to some guys that have been here, done that before. And for him to be the one that gets this chance out of like all the young guys, I think really, and of course Markinich, but I wouldn't really call Markinich a young guy. But Rash getting the opportunity there, I think this will be a great test, and for Ben Olsen to see what he has in the player. Now that you can kind of see different qualities from him rather than last minute defending.
Okay.
20th minute now, Houston Dynamo winning 1-0. If you're joining us, thank you so much. Linger with an absolute golazo to give Houston the early lead.
Yeah.
Dustin, earlier today was Champions League. Did you watch any of those games, man?
Yeah, that Bayern Madrid game was crazy. I know we were talking about it in our chat. I mean, that was like peak Champions League. And then you
My
had Arsenal
goodness.
Sporting in the other game, which was
Yeah, I
like,
mean, if you don't watch Arsenal, it's better just don't. Just take the
yes,
results and move on with your day.
yeah. And I mean, like, yeah, Arsenal are. Listen, they're really good. Like, not to take anything away from them, they're leading the Premier League, which is arguably the best league in the world. They're in the semifinals of the Champions League, but they play some ugly football.
Yes,
And it
they
works for
definitely
them.
do.
I mean, hey, it's yeah. But if you're not an Arsenal fan, I don't know that you really want to watch Arsenal play.
I completely agree here. Yeah, I was watching that Bayern game, and it gave peak UEFA seeing two giants like that really just battle it out. And I thought it wasn't going to be close. I thought Real Madrid were going to give in pretty early, but they definitely surprised me, man.
Yeah,
And
Neuer gives them a goal basically in the first 30 seconds,
yeah, that's how I knew that game was going to be a banger.
and then
Like,
Bayern equalized like a couple minutes after that, and it was like, okay, this game's gonna be nuts. And yeah, it was what 5-4-3.
yeah, it was the aggregate ended up 6-4, absolute bonkers tie. Uh, El Jefe is not a gunner, I believe. You're not a gunner, right?
No, I am unfortunately a Manchester United fan.
I am so sorry.
Yeah, it's it's been it's been a rough time for us. I wanted to
Yeah, I
say
would say
like
before this
multiple years.
last game, I would have said y'all have been pretty fine, but then that Leeds game happened. I don't
Then
I
we
don't
lose,
know what to tell you,
yeah,
man.
then we lose to Leeds at Old Trafford, and it's like, oh, there's the United we know.
Houston Dynamo winning 1-0, 22nd minute. El Paso up in Houston's final third. Resch with a good clearance there in the 23rd minute. Ball El Paso on the right side. It seems Resch has been pretty busy, I'd say, these past few minutes. I
Yeah,
think
he seems to be kind of playing. He's almost playing as a sweeper, like just kind of in the middle, and he's getting side to side and cleaning up a lot of uh, what El Paso is trying to get into the box. But yeah, I think, like I said, I think El Paso may have found something here, trying to go through the middle of this Dynamo defense.
yes. Aliu, a good defensive player right there. I'll be honest, Aliu he hasn't impressed me or not impressed me so far in this game. He's just kind of been there doing his thing. And I'll be honest, that is a very Aliu thing to do. And I'm glad he's not doing it as the true winger of this team because then I feel like people will be mad, and for fair reason. I mean, you want your attackers to score, but I definitely think this role suits more of what he adds to a team. I don't know what you think, Dustin, about that.
Well, he hasn't been offside yet, so
But yeah, some things maybe do
that's
change.
that's the start for him. I think he his last season here he led MLS in offside, which was an impressive stat to lead the league in. I guess I don't know. I don't know. Do you feel proud of yourself if you like lead MLS and something like that?
Yeah. I don't know. I do feel like, at least for him, it's great to be a winner. Linger in open space. He only has to. Oh my goodness, that should be a red card. Red card, El
Gotta be.
Paso.
Yeah, he's gone.
Denial of a clear and goal scoring
What was he?
opportunity.
What was he thinking? Like that's such a dumb foul. Like he just reaches out and like, buddy, you're getting a red for that all day.
Linger beats the defensive line. He gets pushed.
At that
All,
point, you just
all
gotta
he
let
has to do
him
is
shoot.
dive.
At that point, just let him shoot. Like, what do you?
That's a horrible
That's
mistake
just such
there.
a dumb foul. Oh,
And I'll be honest, if Houston doesn't get a result out of this one now, I think I don't even know what to think. This is gone. And I
yeah.
would say El Paso has been pretty good these past few minutes. I think they've just thrown this game away there. Red card, Linger was open, had a chance with the goalie, gets pushed from the back, easy red.
Outside the box, so I guess. I mean, he did at least foul him outside the box.
That is true. Does double jeopardy not apply there? If he pushes him like that inside the box, that's still a red.
I think that would still be a red because he's not playing the ball.
That is true.
I think.
I think I asked you that a little while
Yeah,
ago, and
I
you said
think
that
as
that would
long as
still be a
you
red.
Double jeopardy is really only if you make an attempt on the ball.
Yeah.
He just I don't even know what he did. He looked like he pushed him. Guillermo Banger here.
Guillermo and Hector Herrera on the ball. Guillermo shoots and it's off the wall. Hector Herrera recovers the ball. Houston recirculate. But yeah, I think with that, this game's gonna look really interesting.
You gotta, yeah, you gotta put a, put the knife in them now, right? Like
Uh,
you gotta put them to the sword, get another goal, and just you know stay on top of them. Don't let them have any chance now. You're
Okay, if Houston get a goal here in this first half, the first guy I'm taking off is Guillermo. Just get him
yes,
off the field.
agree. Yeah, bring Bogush in. Let them each have 45 minutes. I'll get them ready for Saturday. That's a
Yeah.
terrible giveaway.
But I will be honest with you. I am someone that thoroughly believes that if you become too overconfident with a red card, you will get scored on. It
Oh,
is it's something you do have to keep in the back of your mind. You can't just suddenly go out and guns blazing and expect nothing to happen to you. I mean, we saw Houston do it just a few weeks ago with a red card with a bogus game winner in the dying minutes. So I guess getting a goal or two here would be really important for Houston.
yeah, at this point, almost 30 minutes in, you're up a goal, you're up a man. You gotta you gotta be the you gotta be the team that sees this out, right? 3-4 nothing. You gotta you gotta take advantage of this and show like, okay, hey, we might be struggling, we might have had some issues in the league, but we're still a solid enough team where we come in here against what is a decent, they're a good USL team, maybe one of the best USL teams, but they're not on the Dynamo's level. And now they're down a man. You gotta, yeah, come in here, put them away.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, if you're El Paso here, Dustin, how do you possibly manage this situation now? Because I'd say if it was like 0-0 still, there's a route. Just
Yeah,
hunker down and just
they
don't
have
go forward. But now you kind of do.
they haven't made a sub yet either, which is interesting because that was one of their center backs that got sent off.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
unless they're going to, like we were saying earlier, they're playing a 5-4-1. Unless they go to like just a 4-4-1 and
That
try
is
to,
true.
because they are down a goal, so it's not like they can just sit in and play for PKs.
I will say that goal by Linger might be really important because if not, this could have just been an absolute slug of a game. Where if that happened right there, you're not seeing anything from El Paso. as in their right to do, by the way, if they're down a man.
Oh yeah, yeah. If this was still 0-0, you would see them Arsenal the heck out of this game
100%.
and
They would call up Diego Simeone in the middle of this.
try to get to PKs. Yeah, we were talking about the Champions League earlier. Now we get Atletico Arsenal in the semifinal. Like, whew,
Oh my goodness.
I think Simeone is going to be only a football sickos will be
Oh yeah.
excited.
No, people will watch, but I'm
Oh
I'm
yeah,
fairly certain the non-sickos will try to leave and just stop watching at least 20 minutes in.
or everyone will just complain and be like, "This is terrible. What are they doing?" 0-0 after 100 after two legs. Go to PKs.
Resch with a yellow card in the midfield. Gotta be careful now.
Yeah, that was a kind of a dumb. Like, why did he slide there? Like, the guy's going back to goal, right? He's at midfield. Like, why are you? Just let him take a touch there. There's no need to.
A little bit high of a tackle there. I thought it was a little worse than it actually was, but still not the type of stuff you want to see from. Is this your only natural center back in right now? I don't
Yeah,
think that's really what you want to see.
yeah. That might be a Antonio Carlos on at halftime. Like,
Yeah, I wouldn't say halftime yet. I would say maybe wait until Resch starts looking a little out of place. Because I'll
yeah,
be honest, he hasn't looked out of place right now, and it makes sense. He's a rookie.
yeah, I
Probably
agree.
getting a few MLS minutes. So
Yeah, he's been solid. He's and this is probably a good level for him to get a good chunk of minutes, right? 60, 70 minutes. Girls to a draw as go replays. No,
question.
they go to penalties.
I like that. I like extra time, right? But not when the team I like
I think
is playing in it.
I think England. I think England's gotten rid of. They used to do replays like that in the FA Cup. I don't think they do that anymore there either. There's just so many games, right? You're just adding another game, another game. There's already so much. Uh, but yeah, Minnesota went to PKs last night, and it took 12 rounds of penalties for them to advance against the USL team. So
Yeah, I
both
mean,
both goalies missed. Oh, scary.
yeah, you can't take these games for granted. I mean, we just saw what Austin FC what happened to them. If you're Houston, you take the win where you can get it.
Yeah, Kansas City got beat 3-0.
Oh my, yeah, dude, I saw that game, and guess who started or played for SKC that
Uh,
played for Houston?
who did they?
Yes,
Oh, Bartlow.
yes, Bartlow was on the field, and I believe he also got a yellow card for being really mad at the whole thing.
I mean, if you lose 3-0 to a USL team, I'd be probably pretty mad too.
Yeah.
Sporting KC is in a rough time offside. Yeah.
I'll be honest, SKC got outclassed. I genuinely think that was their level, unfortunately.
And I think it's Colorado Springs that beat them. They have like one win this season. They have like 5 points from 5 games. They're just kind of a mid-table USL team. They're not even a.
Right. I probably wouldn't say SKC's mid-table USL, but I don't think they're at MLS caliber right now.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see if they if next pro teams were in this, like where they would kind of how they would do, right? Like, would they be able to hang with some of their MLS teams? Would they do better than the USL teams? I think you're seeing a lot more next pro teams that are a lot younger, right? And USL tends to be the more of, I don't want to say rejects, but guys that have kind of been around, guys that have played in MLS, like this El Paso team. They have 3 or 4 guys that have been around MLS, been around the ranks. So yeah, it's interesting. Oh, my cat's tearing up the window.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, buddy.
If you're just tuning in, it is the 33rd minute. Houston Dynamo winning 1-0 after an absolute banger from Linger. You really need to watch the replay if you haven't already. If not, what are you doing?
Yes, go pull it up on Twitter.
Yeah. Houston playing up a man. El Paso got a man sent off after Linger was through on goal. You guys pushed from behind. El Paso playing with 10 men. if you're just tuning in. Honestly, I wouldn't call it a dream start for Houston. A dream start would probably be multiple goals by now, but about as close as you're going to get. And I think for Ben, this was sorely needed. Just take some of the angst off this game and some of the doubts a bit early on, even if it
Yeah.
isn't fully wrapped up just yet.
Yeah, you got that goal in the second minute. I think that definitely calmed things. Now you're playing up a man. You can see they're kind of just passing the ball around now, knocking it about. So yeah, this is I think what Ben would have, if you could have told Ben, hey, what could happen to this game, I think he would take this. They're up a goal, up a man, and now they're getting to, I don't want to say a glorified training session, but they're getting to, almost have a match where they can dictate, right? They can be the alphas here.
Yeah, I'd say it's not over yet. I'm going to reinstate that. Don't call victory too early if you're a Houston fan or if you're Houston, because there's been several times where being up a man can actually lead to some weaknesses that teams can exploit. But I mean, this has a big opportunity, like you said, to be a conference boost, like Jeff said. Houston need this. They need a win here to weather that storm a little bit. And I also do like how they're kind of giving guys a bit of a chance here. Negative's getting a talk to from the ref.
Yeah, I got to talk to Sviatchenko yesterday, and we asked him, it is an Open Cup game. It is a different league than you guys, but can you get confidence back from, if you can get a win in a game like this? And he's like, yeah, every game matters. It doesn't matter who they're playing. Doesn't matter, what happens. Like El Paso gets a red card in the 25th minute. A win is a win. And like Jeff said, 3 straight losses, 4 out of their last 5. You start to, and Eric talked about it too when we talked to him, like you start to, the locker room gets down. You miss those celebrations. You miss those, those exciting times after wins and stuff. So if they can get a win here, which they should, you take it. And it can hopefully boost you now going forward.
Yep. We have another guest in here now. We're really starting to pile on here. We have the man himself, Joey Chabala. How are you, sir?
Doing good. What's up, guys?
Joe,
I'm trying to figure out what my Paramount account is real quick.
Hey, you are fine.
You probably need that. At least
I'm logged in on my TV. I just gotta
can-
log it on my
I can
computer.
hold my phone, my camera up for you. Here.
I don't think we're allowed to do that.
Oh, I don't want U.S. Soccer coming after us.
Oh yeah, we fear them. Definitely. Yeah, if you're just tuning in, everybody, welcome. Houston Dynamo beating El Paso 1-0. Banger from Linger. Set up the stage really well for a Houston Dynamo win.
Did you see the goal, Joey?
No, I did not.
Linger bicycle.
Oh shit! Man,
That's
wants to make the World
definitely
Cup
one way
team.
to describe
I know
it.
we were talking about that. He's getting himself onto the World Cup roster. Yeah, Mark Hannick, nice little run into the box, chipped it into the middle. Linger. Little side bicycle, full bicycle. Yeah, and then El Paso got a red in the 25th, so Dynamo upper man.
Hello,
nice.
Matt. Hope you're doing well. Yes, they got to keep
up,
the
Matt?
pressure and gas out El Paso. I agree with you 100%. If you're here on Twitter, if you want, you can say hi. We see every type of chat on
There we
Twitter
go.
and on YouTube.
So
You have the
that
game up,
email.
Joey?
Joey's
Yeah.
at the game.
Where are we at? Where is it? Open Cup. Have you guys watched the Clint Dempsey documentary yet?
No, but I saw it when I logged into Paramount, and I was like, I gotta remember to.
Yeah, I gotta watch that.
You don't know where I'm from, dog.
All right.
Houston pressing up really high right now. El Paso actually they are able to open up space a little bit, but Houston are just unrelenting right now, not letting them get any higher than midfield.
Vines is getting
Yeah.
forward a lot.
Yeah. I'd hope so. 10 men.
Yeah, for sure. Kind of gives you a little bit of a.
So Joey, I asked Dustin this earlier. What do you think of the lineup?
It's a pretty good lineup. I mean, it's pretty hard to get much better than that at this point.
Are you happy with Aliu starting?
Yeah, he should have been starting in MLS games.
I want to see him against Dorsey on Saturday.
Yeah. Well, he's probably going to start on the right if he starts.
Yeah.
It'll probably be. I think it'll probably be an alley and Aliu. Well, Vines turns up today. We'll see Vines start.
I'll be
Yeah,
honest, Vines has
I
been
talked
fine
to him
today.
about Vines earlier, and he gave the El Paso the ball, and they hit the post. So don't say anything nice about him.
Yeah,
Well, it's going to take some time with him. He hasn't played in a while.
that is true. He was a free agent, or was he off waivers or on waivers?
He was a free agent.
Yeah, makes sense.
He passed waivers.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, but good for him to get a nice little job with Houston. I think he can definitely be of value. Would you start him over Holmes? Like if you have a game on Saturday or whatever, would you start
Ali?
him over Holmes?
Alley or Vines?
Vines. I'd say Vines.
Vines, I think, will play on the left.
I wouldn't. Yeah, Vines doesn't really play on the right ever.
Yeah, I think
I mean, like as a wing back, like this, like just in general, would you start him over Holmes or Anali?
No,
Like in that wing back role? No.
I would not right now. I would
no, until we see it.
Like Joey said, I would probably go Anali, Aliu, if anything.
Yeah, I think
We have to
Holmes
see it
really not
first.
impressed me.
He's
And
got to
Ali,
earn that spot.
and Ali too. Like as much as I like to give him crap, like he offers something that they don't really have, right?
And he's scoring, so
Yeah, and he scored last game. He it seems like he's connecting with Guilherme well. He's got a couple. I think he's got a couple goals, and they both came from Guilherme assists. So yeah, I mean, even if you play him almost, what Vines is doing right now, just as a left mid, just say don't really defend much. I think he gives you something that you need, especially if Jack's still not back. We don't know what's going on with McGlynn because the Dynamo don't say anything about injuries. Jack might have his foot cut off, and
yeah, we don't know. Houston Dynamo here in the 41st minute, entering the 42nd, winning 1-0. This game has really calmed down from the first, I'd say first 10 to 20 minutes, Dustin. It's been more of a slugfest now. Very slow.
I think Dynamo are very comfortable knocking it around, keeping the ball away from.
yeah, might as well just control the game up, man.
Yeah, you got no.
There's no reason to push the pace.
Jeff was talking about retro Dynamo. This is your kind of 2023-24 Dynamo where you had 60% of possession in games and just bludgeoned people to death with. There's a good step by Andrade.
Houston do have a corner here in the 42nd.
I will say, Vines, just from a distance, he looks like McGlynn, like his hair and everything.
Yeah, he does. They have a similar build.
I
wish Andrade would have led that off to Linger.
Yeah, he had him right down the middle, right at the penalty spot.
Yeah, I do agree here with Jeff, though. A second goal here would be, I think that would wrap up the game pretty quickly. With one goal,
you get
a little weird.
If you go up 2-0, I think you could see some changes at halftime, like we talked about earlier. Bring Guilherme off, let him rest, things like that. But yeah, much more would be much more comfortable doing that if you can get a second.
Corner cleared away.
Hector's been quiet this game. Haven't seen a lot out of him.
Yeah, I mean, to his credit, there hasn't been much need for a set of pace. Especially with the red card. Houston haven't needed to put in too much effort to set up that pace, with or without Hector.
We're just doing what Hector does, just kind of controlling things.
Paso look really, really out of it right now, and it makes sense. But Houston with boatloads of possession, really calm game. How have you seen Negri today, Dustin? I know Joey just got in here, but how have you seen Negri today at that center back spot? I think he's been pretty decent.
Yeah, and you talked about it earlier. He's a veteran. Like he's been around. He's Inter Miami and San Diego, two really good teams.
he's been part of. He's been around for in other leagues and stuff too. And I think he's one of those guys that Ben can throw into the lineup, and you're pretty comfortable what you're going to get. Kind of reminds me of Franco Escobar a little bit, just in the sense that he's like, if he needs to start, if he needs to give you minutes, then you're cool. You're good.
He doesn't have that same fire that Escobar has, though.
No, he's not an a-hole like Escobar was.
Escobar is a starting quality player. I don't think Negri is.
Probably not at this point. No, Negri. I think this role is what he is.
He's a squad player.
He's
cheap. He's a senior minimum, so
yeah, exactly. He's
back cross.
He can play center back. He can play left back. He can spell guys. He can get starts in games like this.
Nothing wrong with that type of player. I'll be honest. It was a fine signing when they did it.
Yeah, you need those guys. You need, especially this team. They still lack a lot of depth defensively. So having a guy like him, a guy like Vines that can play multiple positions, Andrade being healthy again, also a guy that can play multiple positions back there. That's big.
Corner here for Houston in the 45th minute. Hector Herrera gets that foul, I believe, or offsides.
I think he was off.
Yeah, I think it was an offsides. El Paso with the ball. Only 2 minutes of extra time, so we'll have 15 minutes of halftime talk. Markinich has been playing, I think, on the wing, sometimes a little bit more centrally. But what do you think about that, Dustin? Because I know Markinich. I can't really see Dustin right now, but Joey, do you see Markinich as kind of like a striker, or do you see more value in him as a winger? Because I know for Dose, he's kind of played at that wing position.
I like him
but
more as a winger. He doesn't really have any good hold up play at all.
No, I will be honest. We
don't really play with natural wingers either, though. So
yeah, no, you're right. I would usually agree with you, but I will be honest. In that goal for Linger, he showed some good pausa. But then again, it is a USL team, and he's been pretty good there. But no, I agree with you. I think him defensively, no, not defensively, but offensively on the wing, I do like what I've seen from him at Dose. But is he really the natural backup to Ponce? Or would you say it's Linger? Because Linger right now is, I think, playing up.
It's more Linger. Linger has more similar qualities.
Yeah.
Markovic doesn't really fit anywhere in this team because he's not really much. He's not really a 10. He's more of a natural winger or a striker. We don't really play with wingers. I think maybe he fit more as a wingback.
Oh, for real?
But I don't know if he has the defensive ability for it.
Yeah, I don't think he offers that. I definitely see him as someone that is a striker, but has like some qualities that make him effective on the wing. Enough so where like on this team, with a little bit of the weirdness that they play with at times, I think it's easier to deploy him on the wing and Linger up top, which I think is pretty. I think that's a pretty good backup guy to have, Linger for striker. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a good backup. I mean,
yeah.
I don't think Linger's that much of a creative player either. So it doesn't really make sense to have him play in those 10 spots behind the striker. It's better to have him as a forward. He's more of a focal point.
Yeah, and he's really good at I'd say crashing the box. Like that was what he was as a 10. Whenever he was playing the 10, he was crashing the box. With Houston, you didn't really see that much last season, so I definitely think this role fits him better.
Well, there wasn't much service into the box.
That is true. What do you think, Dustin?
I was just gonna say, wait till Olasanya comes back. I'll be the new striker.
Yeah, good move there from Linger. Yeah, I think he's in his groove today.
I would be surprised if Olasanya comes back, right? Like,
when does his contract expire? Does anybody know?
Well, he's on. I think he's on loan till this. Is his contract up when his loan ends? So then
it is in June.
He's definitely not coming back then.
I was okay with the signing when it happened.
He's at Aberdeen, I think.
Yeah, Aberdeen.
Yeah.
He's in Scotland.
Yeah, that was another one of those. Like we were talking about, Joey. We were talking about last year when they signed Linger. It was like we just need offense.
Yeah,
and then they threw some darts at the board, and Linger's now just he's like a backup, but he's
pretty low risk. He's on a pretty reasonable contract, to be fair.
Yeah, Olasanya was the same way, right? It was just like, let's bring this guy in, see what he can do.
And even backup forwards are going to cost a bit of money, so.
Yeah,
It is halftime, 1-0 Houston. I'd say a pretty chill half for Houston, all things considered. The red card against Linger halfway through helped a lot. El Paso had some chances, but Houston, thanks to Linger's amazing goal.
See if they give you the replay, Joey. There you go. Oh, they didn't show the goal.
I'm sure they will.
Oh, yeah, they showed it. Goodness.
Oh, there we go. Nice. Good goal.
Oh, man.
Ooh, the World Cup.
Yeah, if you're watching right now and you want to tell us your thoughts on the half, that's fine. We'll look over them. Joey, I wanted to ask you because you're an Arsenal fan. We were talking about a little bit of Champions League before. How happy were you with the game today? If you
I'm
watched
thrilled.
any of it,
I was talking about how Arteta Simeone is gonna drive the purists the football.
Oh, it's gonna be incredible. I'm excited for that.
It's gonna drive the neutrals are gonna lose their mind.
I mean, what more could you ask for? They won the game.
Hey, that's what I said. Like I said, that's what I said. Like, say what you want about them, but like they're leading the Premier League. They're in the semifinal of the Champions League. Like, they're damn good. Like, say what you want about them, but they get results. That's the name of the business.
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, they played a pretty good game today. They didn't score any goals, but the defense played great. The midfield controlled really well. They solved the game.
So if you're joining us, I see a lot of some people started joining in at halftime. Houston 1-0. Dustin, you watched that entire half. I guess kind of your thoughts on how Houston performed today, or in that first half at least.
Yeah, I mean, talking about Arsenal did what they had to do. I think the Dynamo did what they had to do. They got an early goal. As nice as it was from Linger, which settled them down. I think definitely something they needed. We talked about they got an early goal. And it's like, okay, let's relax, settle into this, and they did just that, right? They settled in. El Paso hit the post, that one chance that was decent, and that's really all they've had, right? As far as offensively for Locomotive, and then they got their red card, and the Dynamo really just spat on the ball for a lot of the end of that half. And yeah, I think you come out here in the second half, like we said, you gotta put them away. Because one goal, you never know what can happen.
Yep. So when looking at this bench, any changes that you expect, or do you think it's still too early to make those changes, considering it is still a 1-0 game?
I would go bogus for Guilherme just to give Guilherme a break. I feel like.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Just so, and then each of them get 45 minutes, right? And so that's about what you would expect. With them for training and stuff, you give them 45 minutes of game action, and then the MLS game on Saturday against Orlando, they're both fresher for that. I don't see why you need to push Guilherme, especially because he's 31, 32, whatever he is, veteran. It'll be interesting to see how long Hector goes, right? Because you don't really have another. I guess Samaseko would come in, play center mid, but Ben loves Hector. You know, we've seen that a ton, and we've heard it a ton from Ben. I think Ben will leave Hector in as long as Hector can go.
100%. I like how Hector's played today. I know he hasn't really made a big difference, but he hasn't needed to. For me right now, the player of the game is definitely Linger. What a great goal and drew the red. Not much more you can ask for.
There's Austin losing.
Yeah, if you're on the Paramount stream, they're showing that loss. And Joey, I was speaking to Dustin about this earlier, about these games against USL teams and how you can't really take them for granted. How big do you think of a boost would this be for Houston's team? Obviously, now it's a red card. It looks a little weird, but how important is this kind of like to right the ship a little bit after, these past few performances?
I mean, it's always important. It's important to win every game, There's never a game you don't want to win. So, I mean, it doesn't matter who you're playing against. I mean, if you go into any game taking it lightly, you'll lose. Mm-hmm. So it's just got to be who's in front of you, take some momentum, and get on with it against Orlando.
Yeah. No, I like what Leinster said here. We didn't really talk about it because I'll be honest, I like the lineup, but it is a pretty old lineup. Do y'all like think any of that? Is that like a bad thing for y'all? Do you not care? What are your thoughts on that and how old this lineup is?
I
Oh,
mean,
win the game. I don't care.
yeah, I'm kind of like that too. And you don't really have a lot of options, right? Like unless you were gonna like bring guys up from Ghost with loans, like you'd have had to do a loan for Diego Gonzalez or Rivera or any of those guys. You'd have had to do loans, and that would have burned one of their loans. I mean, this team is old. Just the whole roster is. I think they're the oldest in MLS. Leander was saying, but yeah, like you got Maurer in there who's like 40, dang near 40. That's gonna
Yeah,
bring
he
the
really
average up.
jumps up the average.
Hector's Hector's like what, 36. He brings up the average. So yeah, you got a couple of the not quite senior citizens, but old guys in there.
Yeah. I mean, and also Aliu is someone that surprisingly he's not that old yet. I feel like he's been here forever now, but I think he's still on that U22 contract
Yeah,
unless
he
they
is.
Yeah,
sign
he's like 24, right? 24, I think.
Yeah, he's still on a U22 contract for cap reasons.
It's crazy that he's only 20 that old. Like yeah, like you said, he feels like he's been around forever.
Yeah. I from what I think Asher said in a tweet, I don't think that's gonna be permanent at all.
No, it's for cap
Uh
purposes.
yeah.
Yeah, I think
So
if they can bring another one in the summer, they'll have that spot open.
you have to use TAM for that, right? To move him out of U22, or do
No,
y'all know how that works?
no, you
No,
do not.
I think you just absorb the hit. Like they
Yeah, you
should
just
have.
absorb the hit. His cap impact to go from a 250K impact to I
Yeah,
think it's like a 460 or whatever the number is contracts on. He's been here enough time where the transfer fee doesn't factor into his cap impact, so it's just a straight salary.
Oh, there
yeah,
you go.
and
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. What were
they
you gonna
should
say,
have cap.
Dustin?
They should have cap room, so it shouldn't be an issue. Like um, fitting in the extra 250K, whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, if you can find someone great, then just go ahead and do that. There's definitely a lot of flexibility there. But I think Aliu's been pretty decent today. A lot of these players today, I'll be honest, it's kind of sad that we can't really get a great assessment of them because of how the game turned out. But I
Yeah.
guess like those first like 10 to 20 minutes were pretty good for everybody in general. It was pretty fluid. It seemed like Houston were kind of going at the game rather than being passive and scared. It's always a benefit.
Oh, I'm watching a Denzel Dumfries goal.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, Paramount.
So Joey, I know you're probably watching the Arsenal game, but did you catch any of the Bayern game today?
Yeah, I
Any of
watched
it?
some of it. It's a pretty good game.
Yeah,
I
I'll be honest.
thought Harry Kane played really well today.
Oh yeah, I love how more people are watching Bayern and just seeing the wacky stuff that they're doing with Harry Kane now. Like they've been doing it, I think, now for like a full season, and he's been great. I think
It's
he's
a
pretty
master.
underrated.
I mean, it's always been kind of part of his game. Even at Tottenham, he would drop deep into midfield a lot of the time too. That's not a new thing with him.
Yeah, he reminds me of Rooney, like the way Rooney used to almost
He
play.
started doing that a lot more when Christian Eriksen left.
Yeah,
Mm.
Rooney almost played like as an 8 sometimes at United. He would just like drop so deep.
Yeah, Harry Kane's much better than Rooney at this point,
Yeah, I think so too. Legacy wise,
just in general. I mean, Harry Kane at this point is better than Rooney ever was.
Uh,
yeah,
I'm very,
I'll let you take that, Dustin.
I'm very biased, so I mean, you're probably right, but my bias would say that you're wrong.
I mean, I think Harry Kane is better than Shearer.
Rooney won a lot more, and not granted, those United teams were really good.
Yeah, I mean, you put Harry Kane on those United teams, he
Yeah,
wins
he would have.
just as
He'd
much.
have
You
won
put
it.
Rooney on those Spurs teams, I think he wins just as little.
Probably, yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. And hell, Kane might win the Champions League this year.
Yeah.
That Bayern PSG game, or 2 games, is going to be awesome.
Good deal.
Kane is arguably the best English player of all time.
I mean, you would probably get a lot of pushback just because he hasn't won anything, but like just talent wise and like what he's done with his career, he's definitely up there. Like Lampard will probably get a lot of shouts for that. I don't know any of these guys that were born like
Bobby Moore too.
before I was born. Yeah, like Bobby Charlton and stuff. I don't know about them. Jesse Lingard probably.
Yeah, just Lingard. Don't forget about Saka too.
We've jumped up to 88 people on the stream. Hello, if you're here. It's
What's
halftime right now.
Nani
Houston-
Madueke should get a shout too.
Ainsley Maitland-Niles.
If you're just joining us, I think the second half's about to start. First half was a bit of a snooze fest. Hello, Pegaso. How are you? You were here on the live stream last night or last time. Hope you're doing well.
Jonathan Bond in there, top English keepers.
Oh my goodness. I mean, let's talk about Bond then, because since we have the time right now, do y'all think a change is needed or
it's needed? It's needed. It's not going to happen.
It's needed. Yeah, I agree with Joey. It's needed. Like if you look at, and we've talked about this, if you look at Bond's numbers, even going back to last year, and listen, I love Bond.
Even with the Galaxy.
He's a great guy. Yeah, he's a great guy, but his numbers have been bad, like downright, like among the worst in the league. Bad. But Ben trusts him. Like Ben, he's one of those guys that he's probably one of the first names on the team sheet, right?
Yeah, we'll get some thoughts from Ben on Friday about that. I'll ask him about it.
Every MLS team winning today. Well,
we're gonna add in another guest. Sorry for cutting you off there, Dustin.
It's okay.
We have Manny here joining us. How are you, sir? Can you hear us all right?
Pretty good.
Another Arsenal fan.
Yeah, I hear you're good.
Awesome. So did you catch any of that first half, Manny? What'd you think?
No, it was pretty good for first goal, early goal, and then the red card definitely helped. So it's pretty much a shoe-in for the second half if everything
don't
goes
say
according
that.
to plan.
Yeah, please no.
When they lose, it's Manny's fault. You heard it.
Nothing's a shoe in a cup competition. It doesn't
Looks like
exist.
Bogus is coming in.
Goes.
Probably for who? You think Guillermo?
Should be.
Yeah.
I think so. He has to rest.
Yeah, give that man. I mean, unless they put him up front.
So the red, I believe, was because Linger got pushed from behind. Then out of a clear goal scoring opportunity. I'd say it was pretty clear. It was in the 27th minute.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
so.
They didn't
It
even
was
argue
Doxo. It was textbook.
You know when the other team doesn't even like say anything to the ref, it's like okay.
Yeah, I think there might have been more of an argument for an offsides check. I don't think it was offsides, but I think that would have been a better argument than denying it was a red.
That brings up a question: is there VAR in the Open Cup?
No,
I have no idea.
there wasn't last year. I don't think there is this year.
They only had it like in the semifinal and the final, right?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna Google it too.
Yeah, I just saw the replay of the Linger thing again. I think he was on. He's just outpaced.
No, there is no.
Yeah.
No VAR.
It's again, and it will be added in for the later rounds, like last year.
All right.
Makes sense.
So yeah, couldn't have checked it even if they wanted to.
Yeah, Louisville City FC beat Austin FC yesterday. The winner of this game will face Louisville City. I mean, could you have asked for a better, if Houston can get out of this, a big if, could you have asked for like a better first two rivals for the U.S. Open Cup?
Yeah, you take that all day, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's Bogus. It looks like Guillermo. Yeah, I don't see Guillermo.
What are some other results going on? Charlotte are killing other Charlotte.
Charlotte, the Charlotte,
Yeah,
Charlotte's killing themselves.
good Charlotte.
Charlotte FC, Charlotte Independence.
Ooh, Rodolfo Loco's having a good game. He's a prospect I like.
Red Bulls are smacking.
I think
Yeah.
everyone's winning what they need to win. We'll see what San
Atlanta's
Jose does.
Fafa scored for Atlanta.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, yesterday was the day for the cup sets. Today's looks a little bit more straightforward, but still another 45 as the game kicks off once again. 45th minute, Houston Dynamo winning 1-0. El Paso with the ball to start off the half.
I feel like the Red Bulls are playing more senior players than they do in MLS.
Yeah, that's funny. Did Julian Hall score again today?
No, Zarkowski's the one playing striker. Zakruski.
Oh,
The other Julian.
Goal, Houston Dynamo. Bogusz just came on 30 seconds into the half. Goal, Houston Dynamo.
Oh, Julian Hall does have goals. He has 2.
Yeah, there goes Julian Hall, but there goes Bogusz. He just beat his man.
That was nice.
That's easy.
That was
That's
nice.
easy. That's easy money.
Deflected. But you'll take the goal
All right,
any day of the week. So
Especially
Houston back for second.
Oh, I like how the defender just like instead of running to get back to clear the ball, he just looks at it. He's like, is it going in? Is it not?
There you go. Bogusz gets on the board for Houston. We were talking about him being a little bit on and off. Good for him to get a goal. I'll say anybody that can get a goal today, good confidence boost. Be happy of yourself. Instant impact.
Oh, Footmob said Sam Vine scored.
I know.
Actually,
Joey,
Yeah,
Julian Hall wears Zagruski on his jersey. It's his mom's.
Yeah, I saw that now.
Yeah. Because I saw him playing the other day, and they were saying Julian Hall, but they kept showing the guy with that name on his jersey, and I was like, why does he wear that? So I looked it up.
I forgot he's Polish lad.
Yeah, his
He's a
mom.
Polish man from New Jersey. I could relate.
Yeah, so now you're 2-0 up.
the game
do-
looks pretty good.
Yeah, you go about your business here. You take it.
Ooh, DC
You
United
put in
just
the kid,
conceded.
put it.
Knoxville
Linger
equalized
crosses to the
against them.
left.
Knoxville.
Corner for Houston.
I forgot
Orlando
who's on
got
the
their
bench.
win.
Who's on the bench for Houston?
Samaseco, Ponce, Bogusz was. Antonio Carlos, Bond.
I was about to say put the kids in, but like, there's no kids.
And
So I was like,
no, because you only get seven guys on the bench in Open Cup too, which
Is
is
the
kind of
Philadelphia Union not in the Open Cup this year?
no, they were in Champions Cup
That's
Yeah.
right.
because they
yeah,
won.
whoever's participating in Champions.
I was gonna
Cup
say,
or
is
not
Kevin
doing
Sullivan
well.
gonna pop off this week? But I guess he's not he can't. He can't.
Did you see Bogert's report that Sporting KC tried to get him?
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
That is interesting.
I mean, it makes sense. Kansas City just needs to fill a roster with soccer
doesn't-
players.
He doesn't play much at Philly, even as bad as they've been.
Yeah, they should play him more. There's not a lot of creativity. I know he's not really a creative player. He's more of a runner, but
His brother's still
they
hurt,
should
isn't
give
he?
him a go. Yeah, his brother's hurt. He's gonna miss most of the year. They really miss him.
Yeah,
I mean, I think they maybe have a chance against Miami if in the playoffs last year if they had him.
Yeah, he was so good for them.
They should get Gazdag Buck. He still doesn't play for not Cincinnati, Columbus.
Bogusz on the left.
Bogusz is, I mean, he's playing USL players, but he looks good so far.
I was about to say that.
I mean, listen, I'm being honest here. But now, no.
Yeah, Bogusz is
Yeah.
circulating the ball a lot. Hector Herrera's
But like we talked about earlier, like this is good for Bogusz. Get his confidence.
Yeah.
up. Get him out
Yeah,
there
I
balling.
think you want that for players. You want that
Yeah.
for players. You want confidence.
Yeah, for
shot
sure.
from Linger goes
Linger
high and wide.
So now.
Yeah, I mean, both halves have kind of had a dream start for Houston. And pretty good that you could get Guilherme off and still get a goal there. You can finally get a break.
Yeah, I think of all the players, he needs the one that's been a break. He's been the one making goal opportunities and scoring the goals.
It's a shame Arana's out on international duty.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
would
we
have been,
talked about that earlier. That would have been great to see.
especially now. You're up 2-0. Now
Yeah, you don't bring him in for
Yeah.
a mechanic or linger.
Yeah, give him 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and just let him just kind of do what he can do. Kevin's little brother. Yeah, I saw that. Crazy. They have, I think, 2 brothers that play for Bangladesh.
Huh.
Sullivans.
There you go.
I don't know if you guys or anybody watching ever saw that MLS documentary thing on Apple, but they did one like where they followed the Sullivan one episode where they followed the Sullivan family. Their dad is a trip. He is like what you would expect from a dad that has like 4 sons that play sports. He's like like buddy, bring it down a notch.
Aliu with the ball out wide. He's taking a 1-on-1. Can't get a good pass off. Tries to regain possession. El Paso is able to get the ball out of the box. I think that's the first true chance Aliu has had 1-on-1 with a player today. I haven't seen a lot of him taking players on, which might be for the best, to be completely honest.
Oh, they're playing a possession-based style right now. Just trying to control.
Yeah.
There's not really much need for the wing backs to go take people on.
All right, boys, I'm turning this over to y'all.
Awesome.
I'm heading out.
Well, thank you so much,
Right.
Dustin, for joining
If
me.
the Dynamo lose, then it's my fault. Everyone on the stream, you can yell at
Tag.
Good deal.
Tag.
Well, we'll see you, Jefe. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, good deal.
Yeah.
So if you're just tuning in, 51st minute, Houston Dynamo winning 2-0. Goal from Bogusz to start off the second half, off a deflection inside the box. I mean, Houston look really comfortable right now. But El Paso do have the ball in their own side, and they just miss over the bar. Oh, man. El Paso almost got a goal there.
I think that would be.
I
Not
think he
saying
was
that would be. Yeah. I think it's a good scare for the Dynamo to not to take it easy. I mean, it's a winnable game now, but you can't just sleep on
You
it
can't
now.
really be doing that. So we asked pretty much everybody else. We didn't ask you, Manny. Thoughts on the lineup and when you saw it today? Do you think it's a good lineup for today's game? I mean, not only if you want to win, but the circumstances. What are your thoughts?
I think it's a lot of good redemption arc on most of these players. I think if does Ache still have 90 minutes in his legs. Bozad was a starter in the early season, but through his yellow cards and red cards, can he get back in the lineup? And of course, Zen Vines to see how he is incorporating with the team. He just came in about 2 weeks ago. And I think as well, I think you already knew with Aliu. I think you just seeing how he does in his system, and mostly mostly the center backs. So Rich and Negri, Negri you didn't see him that much, and I think Augustin Rich, his bad. What was it? The time when he went in, I think just defensive clearances to just see how can he bounce back to quote unquote lower competition.
Yeah,
So
makes sense.
it's just about that, but everything else seems pretty. What you're looking for? I think goalkeeper. I think I would have gone Blake, but that's my opinion. But yeah,
Yeah, I think all of us wanted Blake over Jimmy just because you got to see what you have with him. I think with Jimmy, you know what you have in a player. So
I mean, I think they know what they have with Blake too. It's not like Blake is a prospect.
yeah.
I think if anything, Pedro, but that's
Pedro would have been fun, but I think that would have used up alone. Aliu beats his man, has it to the inside. Bogusz has a clean shot at goal. It goes just over the bar.
Yeah.
Aliu right there. Really good from Aliu. You love to see that. But yeah, also something else we talked about, Manny. I wanted to get your thoughts on this. This lineup is pretty old. Would you have wanted, I guess, on that same thought as Blake Gillingham? Would you have wanted some of those younger guys, maybe from Dose, to come up and maybe get maybe not even a start, but maybe some minutes?
Yes and no, but because at the same time, you kind of want to see you're only good as your depth, competition. Even though some of these are older players, but you want to see if they can bounce back or provide you, I think, some I think some momentum even just for throughout the MLS season. I think we have a pretty good, strong first 11, despite the injuries and the red cards that we got. I think it's just the question is, can these players, mm, we could say, make competition for the first starting 11?
Yeah.
The easy answer is no, but I think you still want to see them compete and trying to make the starting 11 more competition, even though we kind of know what's the starting 11 every game.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Yeah, I would have liked to see someone from those, but I think they would have had to loan them up, and then it gets weird. But yeah, I'll be
I think
honest,
that's
I
only
like
for
the lineup.
MLS competition.
That might be.
I think that's
I know you mentioned it, Joey. Do you know if that's for like MLS games only, where like the loans count against
No, they
being
don't
able to
count
get
against in
somebody?
this. You still have to loan them up, but you don't have to. It doesn't count against any numbers or anything.
Okay, yeah. So in that case, I definitely would have liked to see maybe one guy, maybe for this exact situation where it's 2-0 up a man. Maybe put him in last few minutes, see what they can do. But I mean, aside from that, not a lot to complain for. And at the end of the day, this is kind of the bench for Houston, plus Markinich, and I guess some of the first team guys that have rotated in and out. 56-minute Houston Dynamo here winning 2-0. Vines on the ball on the left side. Loses the ball. Bogusz gets it back. Bogusz, I think, came in really well, Joey. What do you think?
Oh, he looks great. Very happy with how he looks.
Yeah, and like Dustin said before he left, it is USL teams, but he does look like a level above everyone on the pitch, including the rest of the Houston Dynamo players. And I mean, that's kind of what you want from your DP, for being completely honest.
Yeah, I think when he first came into this thing, I think the team, I think he came in rushing, trying to fit in automatically. I think he really came in really on the tail end of the preseason. So I think it's just trying to get used to a new style, new players. But I think he plays well in MLS. I think he just maybe struggles to find either the pass or the shot or trying to. I think he's in his head.
Golazo!
Dang.
Houston Dynamo score again. Nick
Nick,
Markanich with a really good goal. It is 3-0 Houston, and they're starting to pile it on now. Really nice goal. If you guys have seen it, pretty good goal. Bogusz crosses it into the box. Hector Herrera gets the ball away on his left foot, kind of half volleys it into the bottom right
Good
corner.
finish.
Yeah,
yeah.
really nice finish. And Futmub messed it up again. They said Bogusz scored that. That was Nick.
No, they
And
corrected it from. They corrected from that's the second goal. I don't think they put the.
but hey, that I think Markanic. I know Joey, you saw the replay for that first goal, and I'm sure Manny, you saw that goal as well. Markanic has had, I think, a pretty good game output wise, and now he kind of adds a nice finish there.
Yeah, he's looked good. Mechanics having a good game.
Yeah, I think he has been really good in this Dynamo side. I think it's just I think the only not to his fault, but I think players with bigger contracts are ahead of him for a reason. You kind of want and talk about players with big
I think there's
contracts
not
coming
a. I
in.
think there's just not a perfect fit for him in the system.
Yeah.
Yeah, and mechanical. This
So
guy.
something really weird just happened. Ponce came in for Negri, I believe. So I'm interested to see how that works now.
Mhm.
Do y'all like kind of see the reasoning for that one?
Oh, they're
Or
putting.
oh, Antonio Carlos comes in as
They
well.
put Sam Banks.
Yeah, they took
Oh, okay. I
they
was about
took
to say.
Andrade off.
Okay. Yeah, I just saw Ponce come in and Negri come out. And I was pretty confused, but yeah, Antonio Carlos in. Makes sense. Let's see if Ponce can kind of do something. I know we were just talking about Marcanichu. It's kind of like his backup, but not really like in this weird middle area. Let's see if Ponce can kind of get on and do something because he desperately needs something done, man. He needs to get on the board. Ali receives the ball on the right side. Pass it back to Carlos. How do y'all think Carlos has played so far this season? I'll be honest. I think he's been pretty
Bad.
underwhelming. Do you mind diving a little deeper into that? Like,
Oh,
what
he
have you
was
seen from
complete
him?
shit this last game against the Rapids.
That
I
is
mean, he
true.
just looked off the pace. He's looked slow. He's looked old. Passing out of the back's been bad.
So if you're Houston, obviously you have Halter
Yeah,
out.
I think it's
Do you maybe consider starting Resh for some speed, or do you think Carlos is kind of their best option right now, Joey?
Yeah, I mean, you have to start him until Halter's back. There's not really much. I mean, you can put Negri in. I wouldn't mind that. But then you have to put Andrade on the right, which I'm fine with. They could do that.
Yeah, that is the benefit of having Andrade. He can kind of go in anywhere and not lower the level a bit. What do you think, Manny?
Exactly.
I think the same thing as well. I think Antonio Carlos, sadly, but it's like one of your seasoned veterans. Even though he may be playing like not his on his top level, but you just can't beat experience over maybe Resh. I think he has his games. It doesn't mean like he has 100% every going to be a top defender. But I think if you want to put a safe bet and try and make sure your back line is solid at the moment Halter's out, I think you have to go with Antonio Carlos.
Yeah.
So they did take Negri out.
Yes, that's what I said. I saw Negri come out and see Ponce
Yeah, they
come in.
did.
Yeah. So
I was pretty
they're
confused.
going they're changing their shape a little bit.
Okay.
And see,
Yeah.
they're going more of a flat back four.
Yeah, makes sense. I don't think you need fullbacks right now to, really give 100%. You can kind
And
of
so yeah,
just
Vines is dropping a little deeper.
Yeah,
And then it's Carlos and Resh, and then Ali is playing a little more of a traditional right back role.
you're right back. Yeah, I see that.
I'm sure Vines will still kind of come in
yeah.
a little
It's
bit.
in his nature. It's in his nature, and so is Aliu. We can't expect him to play like fullbacks the entire time,
Yeah.
but definitely good to like drop him down a little bit. Referee just got hit. The Lions ref. Pretty funny moment. Yeah. I kind of want to see how Aliu plays here a little deeper. I want to see how he looks defensively. We always knew when he played for Houston that the defensive side of the ball was never his issue. I believe Ben Olsen just got a yellow card, and he's speaking to the referee right
Yeah, he
now.
did.
62nd minute. I
Yeah,
mean,
he did.
is that? I think
It-
that's kind of unnecessary, man. I mean,
I think he's trying to defend for his
you're winning
players.
3-0. You don't. Do you really need to get a yellow card, man? Yeah,
I
Houston
mean,
back
that's
in
his
possession.
first yellow card for this season, so it doesn't really for the cup. So it's like it doesn't really matter at this point.
Do you get like suspended after? I mean, I don't think he'll reach that point, but I think there's a
Yeah, you
rule
can
where
get suspension in the cup from yellow cards.
you can or can't.
You can. I think it's 3 for the coach.
Okay, so I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think
But
it will happen, but why risk it? A small thing.
yeah,
El Paso with the ball. They've held the ball a little longer than I expected at times, which I don't know what to think of. But Houston's just kind of been suffocating them once they get any close to midfield.
yeah, exactly. I think no matter who gets the ball, possession only can help you for so much if you can't know how to use it and everything.
Agreed. Antonio Carlos on the ball. Nice pass into the half space out wide from Markanich. Yeah, I see what you mean, Joey. I definitely agree. Markanich looks a little more up to pace in terms of like that half space area.
He's
Maybe
playing more
more
of a
so
natural
than
winger
Joey.
right now.
Oh yeah, but I do see him receiving the ball kind
Yeah.
of in that space, and I like it. I think that definitely suits him well.
cross.
Ponce, yeah, good cross right there, but Ponce can't get
Yeah, it's a tough
enough on
shot.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but right there, good for Markanich. You said it, Joey, playing a little bit more natural right now. Earlier on, he was a little bit more cut inside, but I like that versatility because, I mean, you also know that he can play up top a little bit. I think he's making a really good case for himself to maybe get a few more minutes. El
Yeah,
Paso on the
I think
ball.
he can.
What are we gonna say, Manny?
In the next game for if at this point that you just waiting for a meltdown if Dynamo lose right now. But the next game, it's not another 2 weeks, right? It's not next week. Isn't in 2 weeks or is it next week?
Let me
I
check.
think it's in 2 weeks because next week they play. I forget someone else midweek.
San Diego. I know they play
Yeah,
San
San
Diego.
Diego.
Dynamo plays San Diego here.
Yeah, it's Orlando. It's away to Orlando, then San Diego in midweek.
Yes. So pretty quick turnaround. So I guess pretty good that they were able to kind of, I guess, I don't want to say it yet, but almost wrap up this game pretty early. Make the subs that you want at half and after. Although El Paso here they were moving forward, but Houston able to cover. One of the few chances they've had really going forward, but nothing happens. Yeah, Houston look really comfortable right now. Antonio Carlos on the ball, pushing up high. Aliu next to him. Pass it forward to Markanich. Back to Carlos. Yeah, honestly, not a whole lot to add here.
So
I mean,
my question for you, Diego. I mean Diego. I keep thinking because it's Saturday, it's Wednesday. I'm talking to Diego. Now, to you, Juan.
yeah.
Do you see the Dynamo having maybe a cup run?
I actually don't know. I think in a way, if they go ahead and win this game, I'd say yes, just because that second draw is pretty favorable. I mean, no MLS team for the round of 16. If you can get the job done there, and I'm sure since it's a round of 16 matchup, maybe they'll go with a slightly better lineup, right? Then I do think Houston would then be in quarters, and then I guess you could say you win that game, and all of a sudden you're in the semis.
I
So I
think
say yes. What
I
do you
think they
think?
still use the same lineup. I think they
Sure.
used to
I mean, why
use the same
can't they make a
lineup.
cup run? Make a
Yeah,
cup
Wait,
run
what did
any
you say,
year.
Joey?
So you can make a cup run any year.
Yeah, you can. But
yeah,
I think the obviously this is the first game, but I think now after what happened yesterday and today, I think it looks really favorable to like the probability of making it pretty deep, as in like a semifinal run. Yeah, what were you saying, Manny? You
yeah,
think they run the same lineup?
yeah. I think the run. So no reason why I say a cup run. I know, like Joey says, Joey's right. You can make a cup run any year. I think just because of the last performances in MLS, I think just not saying probably be pessimistic, but like it's been a flat on your face performance for the Dynamo in MLS. And maybe a cup run in the U.S. Open Cup, maybe from right now to quote unquote lesser competition, could be as the boost of a refresher than actually facing MLS. Even though MLS should be your bread and butter, should be the one you'd be focusing on. But a good, opponent that's maybe don't you see every other week, in MLS, it's
Yeah.
good. It's a good change of pace.
Yeah. And I see what you mean, and I actually agree in a way. We've seen teams plenty of times, then start to prioritize the cup if things aren't going too well domestically. But considering how this team looks, Markanic on the ball almost had a chance, wasn't able to get a shot off. But no, yeah, I agree. I think getting a cup run in some ways is a consolation, but really only if you make it to the semifinal or final. I think getting eliminated in the quarterfinals, I mean, the excuse isn't there. So, I mean, I don't. I think this team's better
Yeah,
than accepting a U.S. Open Cup run as consolation. I think the expectation should be playoffs. El Paso get a shot off, but it goes wide. But yeah, I definitely can't see a scenario where if stuff hits the fan, Houston really starts playing their starters in the U.S. Open Cup, and we'll see how that goes.
Well, they're
And they
already playing
probably,
the starters.
I mean, yeah, right now they are, but Aliu kind of came in. Resh not really a starter. Fine's getting his first run out. Samaseku's getting in, and
Yeah, it's more of
Lingard.
a rotation
Yes,
than
yeah.
anything.
Yes,
yeah.
you're right. So yeah, a lot of first team guys. You are right, Joey. But I mean, guess I'm just pointing at like it's a very rotated squad, which is fine. But I think maybe, I mean, naturally as you go further down the tournament, you will see the starters there again. But it will be interesting to see how that works if they can finish off the job here and get through this next round.
I'm laughing at Rudy. He's like, good to see finally that Ben Olsen is putting players in the correct roles. I'm like, this man
Yeah.
is salty.
Houston have numbers forward. Ponce on the ball. Pass it to Linger, who passes it back to Samaseku, who just came on for Hector Herrera. Pass it back to Antonio Carlos. Yeah, we'll see how Samaseku does. He hasn't. I thought his first game for Houston is starting. He did pretty well. I don't feel like his performances recently have been excellent, but yeah, I feel like that applies for a lot of the team. What do you think, Joey? How do you see Samaseku?
I thought he was pretty good in the few minutes we've seen from him so far. He's up great, but it's kind of hard. He's kind of trying to share a role with Boza in a way.
Yeah,
It kind of hinders him. They kind of play similar stuff. I mean, Boza's a little better on the ball, but they're both more defensive minded midfielders there.
yeah. Okay. Houston had the a ball in the opposing team's box, but can't do much with it. Yeah, Bogusz looks on it right now. Aliu's in a race with an El Paso winger, gets it, passes it back to Moore. Yeah, Jimmy's had a pretty calm day, all things considered. Haven't needed to see much from him. Yeah, 71st minute. If you're joining us, I see we are at about 100 people. I think people are starting to fill in for the post game discussion. But yeah, 3-0 Houston Dynamo. I'd say two really good goals, one deflection. If you haven't seen the goal from Linger in the first half, I suggest you do so. That is a contender for goal of the season, definitely. But Houston in full control here, starting to rotate and bring in some of their starters, kind of keep everybody fresh. Game on Saturday, guys. We talked about it a little bit on the podcast on Monday, but how do y'all see this team going up against Orlando? I'll start with you, Joey.
I mean, they're a better team than Orlando. I mean, it's going to take a lot to take advantage of it. You know, winning on the road's never easy in MLS. Doesn't matter who you're playing against, but I think it's a favorable matchup. I think they'll do well. They got to kind of take advantage of some really weak defending from Orlando recently.
Yeah.
I think Guilherme kind of runs rings around them.
Oh yeah, Guilherme could definitely have a field day. Good thing that the Houston got him off halftime. Just a few days between this game and the next one. What do you think, Manny?
I think the same way. I think right now Orlando's very horrific defensively, so they have let goals in for fun. So I think just the front line of the Dynamo, if if you see more of right now Bogusz, you know, you know the goal he has and the confidence he plays right now. Of course, you already expect Guillermo, who's gonna be goal lethal in the final third, and hopefully Ponce, I know just to get one as well. I think it's gonna be a great goal, a great. I think it's a great offensive plan. I just now it's if the Dynamo can be defensively disciplined to
Yeah,
to not let goals or just not get a red card, and so that's pretty much it. I think if the Dynamo attack is lethal like today and other games, I think it would be a nothing for sure in the MLS because it's just like Joey says, away games is hard. It's hard.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I think Orlando is a perfect bounce back opportunity because they're simply not good right now. They'll get Griezmann in there eventually, but he's not there right now. So I think it's a perfect bounce back. But again, it is a road game, so I don't know. I actually don't know what to expect because yeah, I would have liked to see this game played with 11 men, to be completely honest, or maybe not. Maybe we were just being too greedy, but I
I'd
don't feel
rather
like
win the game. I don't care how
yeah,
many they have.
no, you're
Yeah,
right. But I'm saying that from like
because
a not like a cup perspective, but more of a perspective of let's see what we have with these players. Like Markinich, I'll be honest, I got a good impression from him. Resh, I don't really know because again the red
I
card
think
kind of changed the game in a way.
I think
It's
he
just
had
saying,
a better. I think he just had a good game overall. I think so far no this is what you want to see with him. Of course, like Dustin says, lower competition USL team, but you kind of want him to have these performances to make sure he comes out with a clean sheet against a lower competition. That's what you want. If he can't keep a clean sheet, I know the defense is not on him, but you know, you know, but wait.
Oh, you jinxed him, Manny. You jinxed him. A
Nah, that was not on him.
golazo
Be-
from El
Beto,
Paso.
that's why I'll be like revenge game. His revenge tour is back.
Oh
Revenge tour
my
is back.
goodness. Who
Oh,
scored
he
that one?
celebrated.
Beto?
Yeah.
Was it Beto that scored that one? My goodness.
Uh,
3-1 Houston
revenge tour
Dynamo
is back.
leading. I mean, that is an absolute banger of a goal. I'll be completely honest. That's a good finish. Fair play to him. I like that one. Oh,
We got a guest.
oh, look at that.
Yeah.
What breed is it, Joey?
It's King Charles.
Ah, so cute. I love dogs. Oh, awesome.
Love you, Trev.
Trev. Love that name, Joey.
Thank you. He's a good boy.
Yeah, when'd you get him?
I got him last summer.
Oh, wow. So is it a
Whoa,
pup or
whoa.
is it one you adopted?
Oh, I adopted. He's 3.
Oh, nice. Love that.
He's a good boy.
Nice. Love to see that. Manny, you with the commentator curse. Yeah, no clean sheet for Rush today, but I'll be honest, a good finish. And on the side of the field that Antonio Carlos and Aliu were on, I mean, if you want to get anything out of that, I don't think so, but yeah, Carlos has been fine today. 76 minute, just 14 minutes left until the game. We'll have a few post-game thoughts after, so stay tuned. But barring complete disaster now, looks like Houston are on their way to the round of 16.
Yeah. Man, I was like, it'd be funny, but like, I have a Beto Avila jersey that he has from the June 19th edition.
Oh, wow.
Like, I have that. I was like,
Man.
hey.
Do we know who got the assist on that goal for El Paso?
No idea.
I don't think Foot Mob has said anything.
Assisted by Ricky Ruiz.
Uh,
It
Ricky
is
Ruiz, yeah.
confirmed. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It be your own people that beat you, man.
Yeah, sounds like an Arsenal thing. Be your own people.
All right. My goodness.
I feel like I don't want to go into that to that rabbit
Probably a
hole.
good idea. Yeah. We're talking about Arsenal a little bit earlier today, Manny, and that whole thing. And the absolute banger of a game that was Bayern versus Real Madrid. I know we had some banter in there, Manny, but that game was actually really good, to be completely
Oh,
honest.
man, you weren't part of the conversation before. All time, who was a better player? I'm not talking about what they achieved, just the straight up as a player. Who was better, Harry Kane or Wayne Rooney?
Like, what aspects are we talking about?
Like, who was a
Like
better
a
player?
Yeah, who's
If
a better
you-
player? Man?
If you had a
You
World
know
Cup
that-
final tomorrow, who would you rather have in your lineup?
Oh, Kane.
Okay,
Harry Kane.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Exactly.
Dustin
Harry Kane, yeah.
Dustin said Rooney, but he admitted his Man United bias.
I was about to say he had his Red Devil glasses on. I was like, man, like Rooney. If you need, I'd say if you have the ball in the box and you need a goal, Ray Rooney is your guy.
Once it's through on goal,
But if you
Once it's
need
through on
90
goal.
minutes,
he misses.
he missed.
Yeah, Ponce, well, he
But
didn't
if
miss. He
you
got
need-
saved. I'll be fair to him.
But if you need 90 minutes of a striker that's going to help you, support you, and create goal opportunity chances, Harry Kane is your guy. And that's a guy you need for your team who's not focused on getting goals, but actually contributing and opening up the game. Harry Kane's your guy.
I would say Harry Kane is definitely a top 3 striker of this generation.
Oh yeah,
Or-
I think I think he should have left Tottenham. Not saying because we're Arsenal fans, but I think just for his career itself, he should have left.
Now, Joey, I want to bring it back to you though. You said top three. Who are
Yeah.
your other two on that top three? Because I have mine, and it's very biased because I am a Barcelona fan. But I would have probably Lewandowski and Suarez. But you can
Ooh,
convince me. You can convince me.
I would say Lewandowski and Benzema,
Ponce gets his
Okay.
goal. Speaking of strikers,
and Ponce would be number 4.
Bones has scored goal for your Houston Dynamo, 4-1. Hey, we're talking about it. Good for him. So aside from Ponce, it was obviously number 4. You can argue to me that Benzema is a top 3 striker all time. I'll be honest. I'll accept the bias.
All time? I don't know about all
Actually, no,
time.
not all. Maybe not all time, but I do think there's an argument to say he's better than Lewandowski. I think there's an argument.
Oh, I think Lewandowski is the best.
The best striker.
I think
Actually, no. Okay, aside from Messi and Lewandowski, we should say in this generation. That's what I meant. Would you have Lewandowski over Benzema all time in this generation?
Lewandowski, yeah, I would.
yeah,
I would agree.
even though, yeah, I would. Benzema only was good because of the system he had in Real Madrid with
Oh,
Ronaldo.
stop that.
Hey, we can go on a whole rabbit hole if we want to talk about systems and all that stuff. But
I think a big part of Benzema that kind of takes away from him is the fact that he missed so much time with with his national team.
yeah,
Like he wasn't part of that
Yeah,
World Cup win.
and even was part of those whole scandal that he had with the coach as well.
Yeah, if he was on that World Cup winning team, I think there's a different conversation. I mean, Lewandowski, I can't really fault him for not doing much international because it's not his fault. He's Polish.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not his fault that he's like literally the god compared to the rest of the team.
Yeah.
I think maybe 2012 they had a shot. I think 2012. I think that was their best shot. I think they had a good.
Well, that's some good players, but Lewandowski wasn't in his prime at that point. I mean,
Yeah.
Wojciechowski and Piszczek were in their best at that point.
And a lot of the players were from Borussia Dortmund when Borussia Dortmund was hot with a lot of players.
I mean, I absolutely loved Piszczek for a while. He was a fantastic player.
Oh yeah, and then you got but you also got young.
If only Royce played for Poland, what could have been?
And you got what was it? The goalkeeper. I'm trying to think of the goalkeepers. It was nothing but Arsenal goalkeepers. It was Wojciech Chesney and then Lucas Fabianski. I was like, it's nothing but like freaking Arsenal goalkeepers who were Polish. Maybe that's why they couldn't do anything much at that time.
For those of you that are just tuning in, I see we passed the 100-person mile point in all platforms. Thank you so much. Houston Dynamo winning 4-1. The latest goal from Ponce here in the 80th minute. I think it is all but secured the result. We are in the 82nd onto the 83rd minute. So, guys, I mean, if we're looking back on this game now, who's your all's player of the match? What are y'all thinking?
Player of the match?
Yeah.
I think Bozat played really well. Mark Hinnick was really good with the goal involvements.
Yeah.
I'll give it to Mark Hinnick. Give him some props.
I like that. I like that shot. I was gonna go Markanic, but for the sake of being different, Linger drew the red card, scored an absolute banger.
Yeah,
changed the game. Yeah,
I really liked what I saw from Negri as well. I thought Negri had a solid game. I liked Vines. I thought Vines played really well. Aliou had a solid game.
Yeah. I don't feel like anyone really had a bad game, which is good.
I would agree with that.
What do you think, Manny?
I think I'm going just a little bit. I think Markinich and Linger should be one of the top, but I would say it'll be Bogusz just because the short amount of time he came in, got a goal and assist right now. So I think that just speaks what he can do day in, day out. I think of all the players who needs it, other than Ponce that needs that goal, I think he needed that as well for his confidence.
I like that shout. I thought Bogusz came in really well. I don't think you could have drawn up a better sub impact than that for this game. Really take it out of question for Houston. So, yeah, with this result, if it stands, barring a generational collapse, they will have Louisville City FC, who were able to beat Austin FC, Houston's rivals. I honestly do not know what to expect from Louisville City either. I have no idea what their form is in USL. I should probably look at that right now. Do you know any about that, Joey?
Louisville? No, I
Yeah.
haven't watched much Louisville yet this year.
I think now's the time to start.
Yeah, I mean, I know they have good players.
I'll take a look at their form right now. Louisville City.
I mean, Taylor Davila is still one of the best players in USL.
Yeah, that is true.
Kyle Adams has been great for a while too. So I mean, they have good players.
Yeah. So they've been unbeaten in 4 of their last 5. They've had 2 wins, 1 loss, a draw, and then a win against Austin. So just like El Paso, I'd say they're pretty hot. And maybe over El Paso, I'll give them the benefit that they beat an MLS team. So definitely not the easiest 2 USL teams you could have gotten, but I think if you're Houston, you take, and we talked about this earlier, you take the 2 USL teams over one USL team and then an MLS squad. I'll pass with the ball. Intercepted by Nali, who came in. He's playing on the right side right now. He's playing with Aliu, which it's really interesting. I would have expected him to come in on the left, but I think
Well, he's playing right back. That's why.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, they've ditched the back 3. I guess they're more traditional the second half, which I'm fine with.
They're more flat, right? They're a flat back 4 right now. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, which I'm okay with, and I do like how Linger has gone kind of from that striker role. Now he's playing a little bit more. This team looks a lot more like you would have expected from last season. Do you think that's
Linger's
like
playing a little more as a 10 right now?
Yeah. Do you think that's more of like a Ben Olsen just going back to what works, or is it he like trying to?
No, it's the red card.
Yeah, you're right. It is.
Yeah, they only made that look when they put Ponce on.
Yeah. Do you think that if it was still 11-11, they have played in similar system to how they were running this year? Or
yeah, why would they change?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Bogusz with the ball. He is all alone. He's about to cross it in, or he takes it himself. Shot gets deflected. Good for Bogusz there, I'll be honest. Another good
Yeah, he's
move.
pretty.
Yeah, Linger out wide again. Back to Aliu. Aliu, good shift from him, 90. I'll give him full props, from not playing a little bit, giving you a full 90 when you needed it. Holmes didn't have to come into this game. I thought Aliu more than held his own. So really good from him. And he didn't make – I don't remember any big mistakes from him either. So really all you could ask for from the Nigerian. What do you think, Joey?
Yeah, good game. Solid. Nothing to complain about with him.
Manny?
Yeah. No, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Nothing stands out like anything bad. Now I was looking at the dates of USL because when they're gonna do the next round, it's gonna be the 28th or 29th, depending on hosting and logistics.
Linger almost scored, almost an open net, but just too far from him. I mean, Joey, I know we talked about how important this game was to win and stuff like that, but I was talking about it earlier, how that red card kind of changed the feel. Do you think there are any conclusions Ben can make from this game, or do you think that it's just a win and get out type of game?
Win and get out. There's not that many conclusions to make here.
Yeah. What do you think, Manny?
Yeah, I think same thing. Just win and get out. You're trying to just win right now, and I think trying not to repeat the embarrassment from last year with Detroit.
That was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
I was like, man, I can't remember, bro. These years just go by too quick. Yeah. And so
I'll be honest, this Ben Olsen era has really flown by. It's kind of crazy. He's been here since 2023.
That's year 4.
Goodness.
Yeah.
How would y'all rate
this
era of Dynamo football? Sorry for cutting you off again, Manny, but I wanted to ask.
No, you're good.
This is definitely the best era following the
depression
early
era.
years. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's kind of like 4 eras. There's like 4 eras. There's the original, like the 06 to like 010 era where they were really good. And then there was kind of the second era of them where they were made to those 2 finals. Then the 10 years of dog shit, and then the Ben Olsen era.
Yeah.
It's been good. I mean, we've won things. We've made it to conference final. We had a bad year last year, but we rebuild. We go again, and we see what we can do this year with some new players.
Yeah, we'll see. I definitely hold the Ben Olsen era in a pretty good regard, but I guess eras are meant to come in and end at some point. It's a matter of when it happens for Ben. A lot of people think it should happen pretty soon.
That's
I don't know.
nonsense.
Yeah, I mean,
Nah,
yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't
That's
think so. I don't
nonsense.
think. As I think you're gonna ride this era until you see on the pitch and off the pitch that it's not working anymore.
See that?
So I think at this point, well,
I
no,
would make the claim that if they don't make the playoffs this year, unless it's a complete and utter collapse, that Ben Olsen will be the coach next year.
Hmm, interesting. So that is
yeah,
full time. Houston
I
Dynamo.
think they would have to finish maybe like bottom two or
yeah,
Yeah,
three for Ben Olsen to lose his job.
I agree. But Houston Dynamo have beaten El Paso Locomotive. They will play the next round against Louisville City FC, who beat Austin FC. That was a game of all time, I'd say. I mean,
yeah.
I guess we wrapped it up pretty well. There's not much more you can talk about with this game other than you get the win, you move on, and some good performances all around, guys. We already gave our players of the match. I love to see that Christian, who's usually doing these watch alongs with me, happy that he was able to get in here. But yeah, guys, I don't think I have much to say other than I guess how Matt said it. Houston avoided an embarrassment, which is better than can be said for a lot of other teams in MLS. Well, yesterday. So I guess your overall thoughts on this game, Joey, and then Manny, you can follow through on that.
Yeah, it's good. You got a weak team in front of you. The best you could do is go out there and beat them convincingly, and that's what they did. I mean, there's not that much
Exactly.
to break down
I
with
think
this
the
game.
same point. Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
don't.
a game you need to win. It's a game you want to avoid another embarrassment from last weekend's game, and you just wanted to see improvement in the team and confidence. I think most of all, just confidence. You need confidence, and this is the game that not only some of your starter strikers, forwards got confidence in scoring, but also your bench players as well.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think we're definitely gonna run back this something like this on Saturday. Another watch along. I hope y'all had fun. I certainly enjoyed watching this game. Just a pretty chill one to just kind of walk through. I guess I'll leave my last thoughts. Happy for Ponce, happy for Bogush, both of your DPs getting on the board. Let's hope for Houston's sake that there's so much more to come from those two. Um, if anything, if y'all want to say anything else, I guess we can wrap it up here.
Nah, I really don't think there's that much to add. It was just pretty by the numbers game.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
Anything from you, Manny? You want to wrap it up?
just hope. Nah, just only hope for the team to just celebrate the win. But get back work on Saturday against Orlando.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Joey. Thank you, Manny. Thank you, Dustin, if you're watching, for joining me. I hope y'all had fun. We'll see y'all next time. We'll see you probably on Saturday. Christian will probably be back. If you two want to be back, as you know, it's
I will
always
not be there Saturday.
okay. And that's fine.
Of
But thank you so much for joining me, Joey. I appreciate it. Same with you,
course.
Manny. Had a blast. So as for the people that are watching, 4-1 win for Houston Dynamo. Ponce gets on the score sheet. Pretty simple cut and dry game. And I'll say it again, if you want to see that linger golazo in the first half, go ahead and do that. That's pretty descriptive of what happened today. So thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see y'all next time.
Peace.
Peace.
Houston!